Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm single. Hey there, Cinephiles. Today I'm reviewing Hard Eyes. This is a rom-com, a horror rom-com, a rom-comer? This is a horror meets rom-com. It follows two people who aren't exactly a couple, and they're being stalked by a couple serial killer named Hard Eyes. Hard Eyes, the serial killer, has been murdering couples for the past couple of years on and around Valentine's Day. And well, you can guess when this film takes place. Now, I gotta say that this film honestly surprised me quality-wise. Before my screening, I was even debating if I really even wanted to go to this. I almost didn't, but I'm glad I went because this was actually really fun. And if you hear fun a lot in this review, it's because, I mean, it's the perfect word for this movie. If you're planning on watching this, try to watch this with as big of a crowd as you can, because the energy in my auditorium definitely lent itself to a much better time than I thought I was going to have. If you get a lively theater, then you're probably going to be in for a great time. And I will say the thing that very well makes this a crowd pleaser is also the thing that kind of hinders it. And what I mean by that is that this film loves to do a lot of homaging / blending of other genres and other films. You can very clearly see its DNA from other things it's referencing. We even get to the point where one character is giving a pep talk and she's just literally listing other movies that just somehow makes coherent sentences. And I will say too, it does a very good job of blending comedy, horror, and romance. And it's in those moments when it's blending those genres perfectly, that's when it's really hitting as a movie. Unfortunately, there are many times though where this movie does dive into just one of those genres, and when it stays in that for too long, it does really feel derivative, because this movie ultimately is just an amalgamation of so many movies before it and is just repackaged to be this new thing that is ultimately enjoyable, but it is a mixed bag. Even if I lean positively towards it, it's still pretty mixed on many of its things. I do think this movie is going to work for a lot of people though, because there are some very fun things in it, and there's some fun sequences and fun characters and moments. And if it's any indication how my auditorium was for people's enjoyment for it, I think this is going to do actually very well for most audiences. The comedy is very of this time, and it even feels like those recent Scream movies. So if you've seen those, I'm sure you'll know exactly what type of comedy I'm talking about. Or honestly, very many horror comedies that are out right now just have this very kind of samey vibe in the sense of its tone. But it does get a good reaction out of the audience, so, you know, it is what it is. And I did find myself really enjoying some of its more clever moments as opposed to some of its more low-hanging fruit moments. But another thing that really resonates with me in this movie is that you can clearly feel the passion from the filmmakers in this. You feel it in its horror elements. Like, I do really like the design of Hard Eyes, and also with the kills that happen in the film, you can tell that they had a lot of fun planning those and executing them. No pun intended on that one. And it's nice too, because you do see the moments when they're actually trying to go practical with it, and it's, I don't know, it just adds a little bit of charm to that. However, where you do lose some of the passion that's behind the camera is in its lighting and cinematography. There's just something far too clean about the look of this movie. Like, it's very obviously on digital cameras, and I know most movies are nowadays, but I don't know, just something about it felt too clean, where if they would have just, I don't know, even threw some fake grain on it, I think it could have added a little bit of texture and a little bit of grittiness that the rest of the film mostly has. Not to say that this movie is so down to earth and gritty. It's very fun and lighthearted at times, and you know, obviously there's a bunch of murders and stuff too, so it's not the most lighthearted thing, but it does have a lot of fun. I wish it didn't look like a commercial so much of the time, because there are times where this film just feels way too generic in its visuals and in its story. But again, then you get into those moments where you feel the passion and you feel the ingenuity in this. So I don't know, I'd be open to a sequel, I'm not gonna lie. And overall, this is just a really fun time. So if you're going to see this, either go on a date or bring some friends with you. And also, once again, just a warning for those, if you're kind of queasy with gore, and it's not that there's so much in here, but when they like to show it, they really do show a good amount of it that I think it would turn off some people. So either avert your eyes, or I don't know if this would fully be for you. Just overall, be mindful of your taste in that sense. I give Hard Eyes a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I do want to say too, I did guess who Hard Eyes was, so that was actually pretty cool. But overall, this is a very fun time. You don't have to take it too seriously, and if you just allow yourself to go on for the ride, even though it can be a mixed bag with some very generic stuff, there are some things in here that I think are worth watching and worth just enjoying. And at the end of the day, sometimes that's just what you want from a movie. But alright, those are my thoughts on Hard Eyes. If you've seen it, be sure to let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. As always, thank you guys for watching, liking, and subscribing. Be sure to stay tuned for more Yeti Films content, and I'll watch you later.